The road trips are long.
You missed this.
I did see, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I guess you don't travel, eh? Just a homer?
We're not gonna start. We're gonna start doing
I've
our
already
jobs.
started.
Can you just, Steve, can you talk about, Hillary's recovery and getting back to this point? Because I know she was never listed out for the season, but we didn't really have an idea when she could come back. Can you just talk about what you've seen or maybe not seen from her? Because I think she was practicing while you guys were still on the road.
Yeah, it's been unique just because of getting back and then us going out for one, coming back, and then the big trip. So, yeah, she's done a lot of work with our skills coach, Carl, when we've been gone, and then you're just getting the updates. And again, there's challenges with coming back with her lower body injury just to see. And it was basically, we knew what kind of the big thing was, and then from there is just a day to day, how it's gonna respond to extra stress. And so from there, and she got the go ahead, felt good yesterday, and got the go ahead to go today.
And then since we last saw you, you've got some outside additions. Can you talk about, what you've seen from Shafsal and David, in the games that you've had them and maybe the practices that you've had them as well?
Yeah, don't test me on names like that. I'll just go with Teresa. But no, T's been fantastic right from the get-go. And we talked about if we were going to make changes, having someone that really fit what we want to do here in terms of that speed and pressure. And Megan did a really good job identifying her in terms of that speed, the aggression, but also her smarts. She's a really smart player. When you watch her, how she back checks, she knows which player to pick up, and that's a huge thing in any league, is how you recover off the rush. And those little elements, how aggressive she is in the forecheck, being in the right spot, how hard she works, getting above pucks. Those are just really great elements that you love coming in. You don't have to teach that. Those are things that you, as a coach, that you work on constantly. Well, getting above pucks, reloading, being in the proper spot. She's come in really just dialed in and been amazing. Gabrielle, very short. It's interesting how she's come to us. Is just from Sweden. She got in really late on the Monday, if I got my dates right. And then the next morning have to get medical and all that. So we barely seen her. She got to practice, like she just came in time for practice for us, and then onto some other testing afterwards. Then she chose to get a skate in, just get another touch in on game day. So our pre-scout, we were delivered to her at game time kind of thing. So, but her as a player, like again, coming off what she just did travel-wise and just learning as we're going here, I thought she did a really good job. And again, one of her assets is just her speed is really good. And again, identified, I think, another player that really thinks the game well, and put her on the power play. She's had some reps on the penalty kill. She did that over in Europe as well. So I think that's something we can use her at. And again, a nice addition to our lineup, just giving us more depth.
Just asking a little bit about the away record. It's good that you got one on the road, although it was technically a home game, but we know it was a road.
We'll take it.
But it seems like both the expansion teams have sort of had trouble on the road. The Seattle a little bit more than Vancouver, but both have had difficulty. And we see your travel schedule, and it seems like you're doing the right things. You're getting into town early, you're getting practices on location, sort of all those things that the Seahawks have implemented, and in terms of their East Coast travel that have worked really well for them. But it doesn't seem to have turned out very. Yeah. Is there anything you can speak to about why the struggles on the road have been happening? Because if the record was anything like at home, you'd kind of be more on the hunt for the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think first off, it's a very homer-centered league. Like you look at Montreal, I was looking at today, 30 points compared to 16. Like that's a big difference, So it's tough to go into these buildings. They got great atmosphere. I think the players love playing at home, just how well they're embraced. So that's a big thing, right? I think it's still going to take time in terms of the two West Coast teams. We're doing things right, but it's still new. Like these players haven't traveled like this. And our last one, playing here against Boston, a travel day, a game, not too bad because we got to skate on that, but then we traveled, played a 1 o'clock game. That's not easy. And what I did like about that was how well we showed up. in that game in Toronto. I thought we played really well and had a chance all night long. And then that next one again, play in Montreal, a big, heavy game that was. And then long travel the next day, playing a 4 o'clock game. This is stuff that these players haven't done. Like, you come where I come from, you know, Prince George, I spent some time up there. Our closest game is 6.5 hours. You know, so there's kind of just an inherent knowledge of how you're gonna have to travel and do all that stuff. So I think it's gonna take a little bit of time just to, the time changes, the scheduling, how we prepare and how that the mental side of it is. And they're already better. This 15-day trip, I thought we were way better. And coming into Chicago, the last one after that 17 days, we were a walking zombie group in that Minnesota game. Here we had great energy in Chicago. It showed. We played a good 60 minutes, got off to a good start. So that's a nice positive. Just learning from the first one to the second one and how we showed up in all of it.
And then got the opportunity to interview Sydney Langseth and Jada Habish after practice on Saturday about their experience as reserve players and coming into the lineup, along with Heather Winka, Hockey News. And Jada said that the decision to be a reserve player was the best decision she's ever made. And I was hoping you could maybe talk about what the Torrent organization is doing to make that the case. I know you've talked a little bit about this in the past, but just to elaborate on how you got that, how you got them to agree to be reserve players, and how you're helping them persist, I guess, on what is not a lot of salary.
Yeah. Well, it starts in those conversations you have when we're making that decision out of training camp, saying to them, it's in your best interest to stay here because we will develop you. We have a great skills coach. Both of those are forwards. Christine's a very good coach in her own right as well. And then from there is telling them that you will get developed, and then following up on that development, which we did off the ice and on the ice. Emma, our strength coach, does a really good job as well. And then it flips to the player. It's their choice how to show up every day. And those two players showed up, and along with Emily Zumwinkle, they show up every day. You guys are at a lot of the practices. They're out early, they stay out afterwards, they compete hard. They've been students of the game. When we threw them in, we weren't worried about them when we threw them in, because when we practice, they're in the right spots. It's now, do they get the opportunity? Opportunity came to them, and like anything in life, what do you do with that opportunity? And both those two have done a really good job with that opportunity, and we have full trust in them.
So you're back from a long road trip. You're going back on the road to New York, and I'll see you there.
Nice.
So since you have a little bit of, I'm presuming, some good downtime between tonight and then next Saturday, how will the team be kind of utilizing that time to rest up, get ready, kind of get a little bit of a reprieve from this very long road trip? And what should we be looking for during this time, and then when they play again on Saturday?
Well, again, it's just trying to work on some details. We'll have tomorrow off. It'll be a nice off day, and it's always nice with an early game. Get in a little bit earlier, you get a little bit more rest, give them a full day off, and then we'll have 2 days of practice that'll be used for, again, just improving in the areas that we keep talking about. And then we'll have a travel day, one practice in New York to kind of get acclimatized and get into a really, really big, exciting game in New York City.
Coach, looking at the lineup here, Jenna's out for another game. We've seen her ice time just dwindle a little bit. Can you talk about what you're still missing from her, what more you'd want her to do to get those numbers back up?
Yeah, we've been very clear with her, and even my messaging throughout. I liked how she progressed coming out of training camp and out of the rivalry series and the little break. Then that concussion set her back, and I think when we look at a big picture, that 17 days was tough. I think if in hindsight we might have managed that differently, maybe leave her back here, because we didn't practice a lot, and to get her back up to speed, it just hasn't occurred. And that's the one big thing that we're working with her is just getting her speed back, and that's hard to do in season. It really is, you know. And But what I like about her is her determination. That's what got her drafted. That'll keep her in this league and progress in this league. And the other part of it is just the PWHL is really difficult for anybody, veterans, rookies, and to come in here, it's a huge step to come into this league and succeed here. And I know she's going to succeed because just who she is as a person, and we'll get her on that right track.
Hi, Coach Laura Harrington, Missouri Hockey. Can you just talk about what to look forward to in today's game, since we have a game today?
Yeah, tonight Ottawa's a very aggressive, physical team, so that's one that we're going to have to meet that right out of the gates. Is just make sure we're on our toes, pushing them back, making it hard for them to get out of their zone, making sure that we're moving pucks quickly because they're a team that really can shut down the D zone quickly. So for us, it's just moving bodies, moving pucks, getting up and down the ice very quickly. And again, things that we focus on is taking care of the front of their net, taking care of the front of our net. And if we're doing those, we have a chance to be successful tonight.
Thanks to you.
Thanks.
See you in New York.
Yeah.